What do we...
So you finally got logged into
I did.
the Google Doc.
I found
And
how
we
to
had a
get
couple
into
of
it.
comments and one question.
Mm-hmm. There was a question on there that we had already answered.
Yeah.
In a previous one a long time ago. And then there was a new one. I have no idea how long it's been in there.
It could have been like yesterday, or it could have been
a year and a half ago.
Yeah, a year and a half ago. So, well, 2 years ago. Year and a half ago. Whatever, dude. And the question had to do with me talking about my faith crisis.
They wanted you to talk about that more.
So we're not going to go super in depth. We'll kind of just talk a little bit about it.
And I think this should be a separate thing. Like, we just need to talk about the faith crisis. Another episode can be about, like, what made you come back, and like, if people are interested in that. But simply just their question is that.
So I grew up in the church, the LDS church, my whole life. In my teenage years, kind of strayed away, got into partying. There was a point in time, I think I was 18, where me and my buddy Tyler thought we were going to go on missions.
I had no idea that Tyler was included in that situation.
Yeah.
Where the heck did that come from?
So, I don't know. But he was more serious about it than I was.
Was he even raised in the church?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, there was that. And then after high school, there was a lot more partying. I figured like one day I would straighten out and, come back. Then I met you, and we had talked about,
I remember distinctly, like, in our first conversations, you and I both talking, because, like, I wasn't in a place where I was, like, doing the church thing really at all either. Yeah. And we both, like, expressed to each other. And I don't know if you were blowing smoke up my butt, but, like, I was being honest in it, where I was like, like, I know it looks like it's not important to me, but it really is important to me to, like, raise my family this way. And I want to get married in the temple and all this stuff. And you were like, yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, I think, I was kind of just like, that's just what you do living in Utah.
Yeah.
That was just kind of what you did. Like, it's not uncommon for kids to go out and, party their ass off, and then when they get married, straighten out. And
so that was your intention.
Yeah, that was. I mean, yeah. But I've never really taken it. I never took it seriously. I always thought there was something off with the church.
Yeah. Well, with your personality, I can see.
With my personality, the way my brain works, religion just doesn't work. Until now. And even now, I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person.
Yeah.
I don't, and I've straight up told people in the church this, like, I believe that religion is man-made. It's made by men. I think that this is like, there's so much to go over, and I don't want to have this be like an hour and a half long.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think just to answer the question, you're already starting to drift off into the other things of it. If you're just strictly talking about...
Yeah, so I decide we'll get right back on track here. I wanted to know for sure whether the church was true.
When?
Right when Bentley was born. Speak of the devil. Hi, Ben.
Oh my goodness, what time is it?
I don't know.
You have about 25 more minutes.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
Can you wait like 25 minutes and then we'll have dinner? Okay.
I want to eat.
And we will in a little bit, okay?
It grumbles so much.
It's grumbling so much.
Could you say hi, everybody? Benny, you're on the internet right now.
On the YouTube.
Vinny's going to be on YouTube. That'll make her run away. That'll get rid of her.
Anyways, around when Binley was...
Yeah, when Binley, right after Binley was born.
Well, so here's my question too. Like, I'm going to try to ask some questions to get some other insight into it. So that's when you say that happened. But before that, like when we got married, it was very clear like you didn't really want anything to do with going into church and stuff.
It's because of what I believe.
Okay, well, but that's what I'm saying. So, but your quote unquote faith crisis didn't start before that?
No.
So what made it switch that you were all of a sudden like, I really don't. Part of this? Yeah, I really am just like done.
I read the Book of Mormon. Well, I listened to the Book of Mormon because I was working at night.
But what made...
I wanted to know if the church was true.
I know, you say that. I guess I'm just trying to see like what sparked that idea. What sparked
It was time to start getting my crap together.
Do you feel like, do you think it was something like you've had the experiences of, you know, you say you're sitting down here and wham, I'm going to baptize Billy.
Yeah, I've never had...
just all of a sudden like wham, I'm going to figure this out?
No, it was my decision. It wasn't like anything that's happened.
But just all of a sudden you were just like,
I was just like, yeah, I've never taken this seriously, so I'm going to figure it out before I commit my life to this.
Was it when I said I was going to go through the temple?
No.
It was
before that.
Before that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I listened to the Book of Mormon. I've listened to it probably 4 times all the way through. And I was like, yeah, it's just a good story. That's it. It's just like, you know, everything else. It was just a story to try to convey a message. And then I started digging deeper and I found the letter to the CES letter. Mm-hmm. First of all, I guess I should say I do not want to sway anybody's opinion. I think this is a very personal thing.
You were even very adamant when you were going through all this. Like, you're like, I'm not even going to tell you what I'm...
Yeah, I didn't want to talk to you about it.
What I'm finding.
Yeah.
Because I remember you saying, like, I don't want this for you. Like, I don't want you to feel the things that I'm feeling.
Well, it's because you're alone on an island. Like, when your whole family is in a religion... And then you start to call it out, like saying it's BS. That's not easy.
Yeah. But I guess it's surprising to me that you wouldn't have it was surprising to me even at the time that you didn't want me to go with you. Like, to be like, hey, like, this is what I found. You know? You were very adamant.
First of all, and even to this day... the church's history is very damning.
Yeah.
And that's what I was getting hung up on, was the history of the church and the prophets, Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, that kind of stuff. I am still not okay with those guys.
Yeah.
With some of the stuff they did. It still is like, I'm not okay with that. Yeah. People are going to think I'm such a hypocrite. This is not going to make me look good at all. I'll try to tie back in at the very end how I feel now, why I feel this way. But yeah, I was listening to the CES letter. Again, I don't want to sway anybody's opinion. I think that this is a very personal thing. I don't think that religion is for everybody. I do not think that every single person on the planet has the ability to accept the LDS faith. I don't think it's for everybody.
Yeah.
That's a shitty thing for me to say as a part of it, because I want everybody to be happy. And I know that it has brung me brought me, bringing me. It's brought me happiness since I've decided to do this.
Yeah.
So there were things in that letter, stuff on the church's website, like from LDS.org that I read, that I'm like, this does not match up with like science and history. This isn't adding up. And once one thing, again, it's really weird for me to say because I just said that I don't believe everything in the church. Once one thing to me is BS, like it all crumbles.
Yeah.
Me trying to explain this is not going to make a whole lot of sense.
Let me try to say a thing that maybe will make a little bit more sense for people. So the way your brain is with black and white thinking, gray doesn't work. And I remember, so many times like we'd get into a discussion and talk about something, or you talk about it with someone else, and it's always like, well, you need to prove it to me.
Yeah.
Like, show me. And that was the thing. Yeah. And so it was like, and everyone's response is like, well, that's what faith is. Like, you have to have faith in it, whatever. And you're like, that's like, for you, that was a no-go. And so, like you said, if there was just one thing that was off, it's all going to be off.
Yeah. So then, while this is all happening with me, first of all, during this time, I'm a brand new father, so I've got all that going on. I'm like currently at this point in my life, like losing my job. We had just moved into a house, just bought cars. I'm making really good money, and then it all just fell out from under me in the oil field. So it was like a classic case of stupid oil field worker goes and buys a bunch of shit, and then the bottom falls out, and then you're standing there with your thing in your hand,
your pee-pee in your
with
hand.
your pee-pee in your hand, wondering how you're going to pay for it all. It was very... I had a midlife crisis at 24 years old. That was my midlife crisis. So the faith thing happened, the life thing happened. It all happened at one time. It's extremely degrading as a man to have to move in. First we moved in with my parents, then we moved in with your parents. And all of this is going on. So first of all, I'm pretty pissed off at God at this point. I was extremely pissed off. And then I had the added stress of knowing what I know about the history of the church. I don't agree with it. And then catching shit from people in our families just made me want to run away harder. Because when you push me to do something, I will blatantly in your face flip you the finger and tell you to go pound sand.
No.
So that was part of it too. I was like, you guys ain't going to make me do shit. I'm doing what I want to do. You guys are all crazy. You guys are in a cult. It just made me run away harder. So after I have never been anti-LDS or anti-Mormon, but I did start reading and listening to some people that I thought just had an opposing view, but they had, ulterior motives. They were anti, and that pisses me off more than anything because they just, to me, sounded like a bunch of whiny babies.
Yeah.
I was thinking, who the hell are you people? You people, the anti-LDS people and the anti-Mormon people, are just as bad as the people that they are tearing down. Because you're trying to force your view on somebody else, which is not okay with me.
No.
And so I got into that and I was like, you know what? I'm just done with the whole thing. Like, I don't care. I think it's BS. I don't need to go seek anything else out to prove that I'm right, because I don't have to prove to anybody.
She's gonna say she's hungry. Hi. What's up? Still have about 15 more minutes.
I'm so hungry.
Ben, you're on YouTube. You want to be on YouTube?
Tell them about your grumbly tummy.
Yeah.
Okay. What about it?
Say hi, everybody.
No.
Okay, then go back in your dungeon.
Go watch your stuff.
I'm very, very hungry.
When Mom and Dad get done doing this, it will be time to eat
I
dinner.
love you, Schmoop. She doesn't love me. She didn't say it back.
He didn't feed her.
Yeah. She'll say it in about 15 minutes.
Yep.
I'm so hungry.
Okay. Are we ever going to have a podcast episode where it's just us?
We told them from the beginning, this is what it is.
Yeah.
It's
very distracting. I'm trying to have a train of thought here. Having kids is the best.
If you could just hear, she just ripped it real loud. Anyways, you're saying you're done with it.
I wasn't trying to prove anything to anybody. I was just trying to find out for myself. And I thought I found out for myself. Good night.
You gonna make in 15 minutes?
Okay, listen. You cannot come out here anymore, okay? When we're all done, we'll go and eat. You need to go watch your show. And we'll be about 10 minutes, okay?
10 minutes.
But don't come out and ask anymore, okay? Or you have to wait longer. Okay? Oh, and if you can't be quiet, then you're going to have to go upstairs.
You have 10 minutes.
You want to flip it? Okay.
10 minutes.
Flip it over.
Okay.
That's not 10 minutes, but sure. Okay, go in. Go watch your stuff. Hey, Ben. You need to be quiet, babe. Are you going upstairs?
I need your plug.
Okay, go find it.
But be quiet. Florence is sleeping. Don't wake her up or you'll be in trouble. Okay, let's do this.
I got an itch. I got to scratch here real quick. Like a dog.
Yeah, it's those allergies.
Oh, where were we?
You are done with it. You're moving on.
Yeah, so I thought I was done with it and moving on. And then you decided to go to the temple.
And at that point, like when I told you I was going to start taking temple prep class, like we had a discussion for a couple weeks of you going back and forth of you're like, yeah, I'll do it too. And like even came to a couple classes and then you're like, no, I'm not doing this. Because at the same time we were going to bless Binley. And so it was like, I could just like see it in you so badly of you being like, I don't want you to go without me. I don't want someone else to bless Binley. But it was like you just couldn't live a lie, basically.
That was exactly what it was. Is I'm not going to say I believe in something if I don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot, and I looked at that as you are choosing the church over me, and that made it way worse.
Yeah.
Everything that I did and all the sadness and anger, I look back on it now and it was completely 100% self-inflicted. The way that I was looking at it, because I believed that it didn't matter if you went to the temple. Like if people go to the temple, because I don't believe in a God that would keep
You don't
me...
believe in the temple, the things that you do there. And so, yeah.
This is where I have to be very careful.
Why?
Well, because we just got sealed a couple days ago
But you're talking about the way that you felt then.
Yeah.
This
It was
was
more.
8 years ago.
It was more of you deciding. It was you making a no, Ben Leanne. No. At dinner.
This is for dinner,
Here, let me have it.
right?
No more pretzels. Go in your thing, plug it in.
This
Yep.
is for dinner, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
This
Bentley.
is for dinner.
That is for dinner.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I friggin' love you. You are so sweet.
I am so sweet.
You are.
She told me earlier, I am not a demon.
No,
I am an
I
angel.
hope not.
Okay.
It was you making a conscious decision to leave me behind is what hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
So that made it way worse. And then we kind of just stayed on that path for a while. It was just that was the status quo for a while. Is me resenting you, you feeling bad, but you were doing what you believe in.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can take it back.
Strawberry, orange, corn, watermelon, blueberry, cabbage, grape,
If anybody wonders what it's like to have an autistic child, this is it. And
Which-
it is the best.
I think the other thing too, every time I like say that, people are like, well, that's just like what a normal kid is. I'm like, yeah,
No.
I know it is, but it's different. And I hope that, in keeping these moments in with her, people will understand it better.
So then I started drinking. We'll only touch on the drinking a little bit. I became a full-blown alcoholic. Functioning alcoholic to where I was still able to go to work. But there towards the end, it was getting out of control. And that was just our life for how long did we do that?
I don't know.
2017 until a year and a half ago.
But in sticking, like I said, I don't think we need to go any farther in the story. But I have no brain. I don't know what I was just gonna say. Basically, that we lived in that space, and now the other one's awake.
Okay,
so
we're gonna go quick here. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm just
We're gonna go
finishing.
quick.
I'm just finishing up this thought. So we lived in the space of I believed you were never coming back to the church. I eventually got over that and was fine with it. I just did my thing. You were totally respectful of church and what I chose to do with it. You
Yeah.
were never.
I said you're more than welcome, and I even said I'll go to church with you. I'll go to church with you when I have days off.
Yeah.
If you want to, our kids can be raised in the church, but if they ever decide that they don't want to be, that's their decision. And that was a conversation you and me had was I said, you're going to have to deal with that. I said, I will never even talk to our kids about how I feel until they are a grown adult.
Yeah. But
until they're in their 20s, I'm not going to tell them what I know.
But you still
Can you make someone
nope.
dinner?
Nope, no talking. But you still also you were the one that initiated family prayers with Binley. And
Well, yeah, because I still believed in God and I still
but that's what
believed
I'm
in
saying.
Jesus.
So we just lived in the space of that was the thing. There became no tension in it. I felt like we were in a pretty happy state besides the extensive drinking and stuff, But as far as just church goes, we stopped having discussions about it. We didn't talk about it anymore because then it would usually lead to pretty big fights and it was just not a good space for us to be in. And that I would say is what sums up your faith crisis. I think you suffered, if you want to use that word, in it pretty silently. It wasn't something you talked about with anybody?
Me and my dad talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
And me and Lane talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
My stomach.
Mainly.
I think we need to. I think I need to explain what happened to what brought me in a condensed version of how I got here.
Okay. Well, so how do you want to do that?
Yeah, I can just wrap it up.
You better do it fast.
Take me a couple. You don't have to be here.
Do you want to? And I'll go get her.
Yeah, I'll just yeah.
Okay. I feel weird you just talking about yourself. Okay. I'm gonna go get Florence. You wanna come with me?
It's for dinner.
All right, now that she's gone, you can get the real lowdown. Nothing. She didn't even laugh. Okay. In 2016, I went to work for a guy. His name was Lane Rockhill. And Lane was a very spiritual person. He was a member of the church. Me and him had lots of conversations about the church, and we really weren't too far off from what we believed in. But Lane had Parkinson's, and he had to get out of the truck. He eventually sold the truck. And I got a phone call the 1st of December. Let me back up. I quit drinking on Thanksgiving Day of 2021. I quit drinking because Shaylee sent me a YouTube video about this couple that they do like little challenges. I'll link the video in the description. And one of their challenges was we quit drinking for 30 days, and this is what happened. And so I watched that a couple of days before Thanksgiving. And I was like, I can do that. I can totally do that. I can do anything for 30 days. So I quit drinking just to prove to myself that I could quit, because I had tried to quit a couple of times before that, and it didn't work out. I always found an excuse to drink again. So I took my last drink on the night before Thanksgiving, and 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from Lane's wife saying that they put Lane on hospice and I better get up there because he wasn't going to be around for very much longer. So we went up there, and we're sitting there talking and just BS and having, just it was the way that I wanted to say goodbye, and it's the way he wanted to say goodbye. And my dad and my two brothers got up off the couch, and Lane's daughter showed up, so we were like, okay, we'll leave now. So my dad and my brothers get up, and they went outside, and me and Shaylee and Ben got up, and Lane got up out of his chair, and he puts his hand on my shoulder. Welcome back. He puts his hand on my shoulder, and he says, it's all real. It's all true. The most important thing for you to do is to take your family to the temple. And I said, you son of a bitch. Those are the last words you're going to say to me. Especially how you know how I feel about the church, and that's the last thing you're going to say to me. And he got his little shit-eating grin on his face, and he said, yeah. He started laughing. And I said, well, what if I don't believe in it? Should I just fake it? Should I lie? And I was being a smart ass because I wasn't going to do that. Because I've already said I wasn't going to say I believed in something if I didn't believe in it. And his wife was standing right there, and she grabbed me and she said, yes, you do. You lean on other people's testimony until you have one of your own, and you'll figure it out. And I said, okay, Lane. as being a smartass again. And I said, you are going to die in a couple of days. So when you die, start sending me signs in your face. Can't deny it. Right in my face. I can't miss it. Signs. If this is true. And if you can do that, I promise you that I will take my family to the temple. And he said, okay. And me and Shay joke about it all the time. God will not be mocked. This is my personal feeling. Everybody else is free to make their own decisions. This is just what I believe is God will not be mocked. And I made a deal with Lane, and sure as God's got sandals, he started sending me signs. They were subtle, but they were undeniable. And we can talk about this later in a different episode if we decide to talk about religion. But they were undeniable in my face. Like I got hit in the side of the face by a lightning bolt. I consider myself extremely lucky. And as soon as that happened, I pretty much just. This sounds so dumb, but like I just surrendered. I was like, you know what, God, you do whatever you want with me. We tried it my way. It didn't work out. And here we are.
I feel like the biggest thing, like you just said there, you said you feel dumb, but I think
they can't hear you.
Keep working, happy. Is you, in like the truest sense of the word, what people say, like you were humbled by God.
Oh, so hard.
And that's not.
But hold on a minute. The humbling had been happening for years.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like you finally seen it as like. I think you truly, like you said, you always believed in God and, all this stuff, whatever. But I think through all of this, you actually seen him and understood what that meant.
Yeah, sidetrack. I got up and I bore my testimony. On Saturday we went to the temple, and on Sunday, I'm gonna fucking cry. On Sunday I was able to bless Florence. And then I got up and I was fasting testimony, meaning I got up and I bore my testimony. And I just said, I have an extremely simple testimony. It's that God loves us. I can't get up here and say I know the church is true, because I don't know if it's true. I don't know if the ordinances performed in the temple to be sealed to my family are true. I don't know if I had to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know that the feeling that I had all day on Saturday and the feeling I had when I was blessing my daughter was pure happiness. I don't think I've ever felt that before. I don't remember a single time feeling pure happiness.
That makes me really happy.
It took 32 years of me being on this planet to feel like that. I felt like I was walking. I felt like I was levitating. I felt like I was walking on a cloud. I'm very fortunate to have had the experiences and to have allowed myself to get to a point to where God was able to let me know.
I think two things that you've said just now are like the biggest takeaways. When people want to think about the church and talk bad about it, whatever, is one, we said this I think yesterday, we were talking about the temple. And the church, when you come down to it, the basis of the church is about family and being with your families forever. So I think that's why you felt such happiness in that. And then the other thing is the church can be and should be simple.
We make it not simple.
Yeah, that's what I'm meaning. I think God has intended it to be simple. And it's when everybody starts overthinking everything and having the worldly brains that we have and being human beings and wanting to talk about inclusion and the limitations that it puts on us. It really is pretty simple, I think. And it's all the thing that I've come out in the last year, I think it's a hell of a lot easier than I made it seem to be.
Yeah, it's easy for me now because I just don't care.
Yeah.
What anybody else has to say.
Yeah.
Even you.
I know.
All right, let's wrap this thing up.
Yep.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
So
It's a good one. And like you said, if it's something that people want to keep talking about, ask questions, we'll feel free. I don't know how much we'll just like dedicate on our own episodes to it, but
I just want to say I think that don't take my word for it.
it all has
And
to be you.
I don't expect anybody. I don't judge anybody. Actually, I judge a lot of people, but when it comes to religion, your faith, your beliefs, Florence is like telling me to shut up. It's a very personal thing. Thanks, Flo. Having kids is the best.
It's all gotta be you.
But yeah, don't be surprised if you hear the F-bomb come flying out of my mouth, because I still am I am just a heathen. It's a part of my identity.
Yeah.
I can't help it. It can't be helped. So
Maybe someday
if you
it
want to
will
think I'm
kinda
full
change.
of shit, if you want to think I'm full of shit, sitting here saying that I'm a God-loving, I don't fear God, a God-loving man, and you think I'm full of shit, well, go screw yourself. I don't care.
You know who you are.
Yeah, I don't need anybody's anything.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for me. I'm happy.
Amen.
If that changes, you guys will be the first ones to hear about it. You might see a nuke go off over our house. Mushroom cloud. I don't know what'll happen. I really don't care.
We're just living today.
I love you.
I love you so much.
Thanks for dealing with a big sissy boy.
Oh, jeez. I love it.
All right, that's it.
See you guys next time.
See you later.